a 80-watt beam with a brilliant ring light effect. This is Jerry, back with Theatrically Jerry, and today I'm doing a in-depth review on TipTop's TP BEAM80. The TP BEAM80 is an 80-watt super compact moving head beam fixture. There's a lot of technology packed into this small form factor. The TP BEAM80 comes in at 15.954 inches tall by 9.84 inches wide by 7.08 inches deep. So this fixture is super easy to mount thanks to its 17-pound weight. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how thin this light fixture is, and it's very easy to carry with one hand. So the first thing I noticed about this 80-watt beam is the unique ring light that's around the glass optics here, or lens. TipTop has packed 32 half watt or 0.5 watt RGB LEDs behind this white diffuser ring here, which I think is pretty cool looking. I have seen other lights like this. I think it's a great look. It adds to the light fixture. The glass optics here has a super sharp 5-degree beam angle or beam spread, making this a perfect beamer here. So this is a perfect beam light. The LED engine that's built in to the TP BEAM80 is a 80-watt chip on board, or cob. It is in the 8000K temperature range, so this creates a cool white beam when set to open. 8000K is pretty typical for a temperature on a moving head. The LED is rated for up to 50,000 hours of use, so this light fixture should last you a long time. The back of the TP BEAM80 has some rather interesting I/O ports, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at those. So the first thing that caught my eye on the back of the TP BEAM80 is the two Ethernet ports here. So we have two Ethernet ports here for ArtNet control. They're labeled as DMX port. You don't see this on a lot of light fixtures, especially at the size of the TP BEAM80. So I thought that was kind of cool that they've included that with this light fixture. And basically what you can do with it is you can control via ArtNet and daisy chain to the next fixture a Ethernet cable. I would have liked to have seen Ethercon connections, not just bare Ethernet connectors, but it's still great to have that option. Next to that is your typical 3-pin DMX in and DMX out. So they have included two different options for control here. And also next to that is your PowerCon in and your PowerCon out. Again, this is for daisy chaining several light fixtures together. It could be these light fixtures, it could be any other type of light fixture. It just allows you to create a chain of both power and data control. So it's a lot cleaner than running a bunch of cords or cables from your light controller or power supply. I'm going to go ahead and power on the TP BEAM80 so we can take a look at the user interface as well as menu system on this light fixture. So if you can't see, there is a 2-inch full color LCD display built into the TP BEAM80. It looks great. That's dead center on this light fixture. On the left is your DMX and air LED lights. The DMX light will light up blue, when there's a signal being sent to the fixture. So if there's a control signal being sent, this DMX LED will light up blue. The red LED will light up if there is an error with the light fixture itself. So the light fixture does go through some programs to determine if its motors are working or if the X and Y axis are correct, etc. And if there is an error, it will throw this red error light here. To the right is your navigation buttons, and they're pretty typical. We have our enter button here. We also have a up, down, left, and right button. The buttons are soft press buttons, and they work fine for navigation. They do kind of feel cheap, but they do their job as well, so that's great. The main display menu here is going to say DMX address. I have mine set to 64 because it's 64 on Universe 3 for me when I'm controlling this light fixture. We're going to go ahead and take a look at all the menus here. So hit the enter button, and you're going to be greeted with 6 options. These are your 6 main menus. We have address, set, manual, calibration, reset, and notes. If you select address, this is where you set your DMX address anywhere from 0 to 512. The next menu is set. Set is going to be all of the options you can set with this light fixture or your system setup. Run mode is set to DMX. You can set it to sound active mode, auto 2, or auto 1. Auto 2 and auto 1 are built-in macros or programs that the light manufacturer has set. Channel mode, you can select the channel mode of this light fixture. Currently it only offers one. It's a 19 channel mode. You can invert your pan, you can invert your tilt. There's a Hall correction sensor on here, so I have it set to on. There's also an encoder correction on here. I also have that set to on by default. Signal keep. So when this light fixture does not receive a signal, or if it loses a DMX or ArtNet signal, how do you want the light fixture to react? Currently I have it set to off. You can set it to on, and it's going to keep the last signal that was sent to this light fixture, or your HTP or LTP, depending on what you've sent out. Screensaver I have set to off. You can of course turn it on if you want the 2-inch LCD display to be dark. Invert screen, I have it set to auto. You can have it off or on. Basically what that's going to do is it's going to have the orientation of this screen correct in every direction that you have this light fixture mounted. So I have it mounted up and down, or standard, standing on its little rubber feet, so the screen is going to look this way. If I were to turn this light fixture upside down to mount it to a truss system, the screen will automatically flip itself over, so then it looks like it's in the correct position again. You have update slave. What that does is it's going to update the slave when you're in master and slave mode. I have it set to off. You can set it to on. You can set your language to English or Chinese, and you also have a load default. So that is all of the menu systems under system setup. The next main menu is manual. Manual is going to allow you to control this light fixture from this screen. It's going to allow you to control each individual channel built in. So we have pan, pan fine, tilt, tilt fine, pan and tilt speed, dimmer, strobe, color of your main LED source, gobo, prisms, prism rotation, focus, reset, LED red. Now these controls are for the ring that is around the lens. So we have LED red, LED green, LED blue, LED strobe, LED effect, which is your macros. LED speed controls the speed of the effect or macros. And that is all of the controls that you're capable of doing. And you can set the values anywhere from 0 to 255, just like on a typical DMX channel. Calibration. You can calibrate this light fixture if it's ever out of place. You can go ahead and calibrate it, its pan or its tilt. Currently right now I notice that its tilt looks a little out of place. Or I'm sorry, its pan. So I'm going to go ahead and correct that. It looks much more straight here. At 144. Currently the pan was off a little bit, so when it did find home on its pan sensor, the light fixture was a little off. It was pointing a little to the right. It should be dead center. So you can correct that here under calibration. You can also do that with your tilt, color, gobo, prism, focus, your reserve channel, your power, the sensitivity of the microphone. You can also change the password so nobody can get into the calibration menu except for yourself. The next main menu is reset. You can reset all effects, reset scan, or reset all. If you hit reset all, it's going to reset all of the information of where home is on all the sensors and motors inside of the light fixture. So I can go ahead and hit reset all. And there you go. It's a pretty quick operation, and it has reset everything to default. The next menu is note, and I thought that was kind of interesting because I'm like, why would you want to leave a note on your light fixture? But it's basically just the information of the light fixture. We have your reset info, systems okay. DMX data I think is kind of cool because it gives you a live view of what each value is on each DMX channel of this particular light fixture. So right now they're at 0, but if I were to do pan or tilt here, this would update to the value anywhere between 0 and 255 of what the light is currently set to. So I think that's kind of cool. Sensor info. This gives you information on your Hall sensor as well as your X and Y access center. Below that is your hardware and software ID. So that is something the factory uses to update the light fixture. However, don't expect an update on this light fixture or a lot of them because they never send any out, but there's, for whatever reason, an option for it here. And those are all of the available things you can do on the TP BEAM80. The TP BEAM80 is a 19-channel DMX mover. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the built-in macros or shows that are included with this light. The TP BEAM80 is capable of a 0 to 100% linear dimming. Let's see how smooth the dimming looks on this light fixture. So right now we're at max, which is 100%, and I'm going to drop it slowly down to 0. So the linear dimming on this is super smooth. I mean, it's not going to get much smoother than this. Let's go ahead and take a look at it on the wall here. So I'm going to go ahead and pan this over for you guys, just so we can kind of see the dimming of the actual spot here. Alright, so we're at 100%, and I'm going to drop it down to 0. And back up to 100. And we're back at 100. Let's go ahead and drop it back down to 0 one more time. The TP BEAM80 is capable of a variable speed strobe from 0 to 25 Hertz. So let's go ahead and take a look at that and see how well the shutter system works on this. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the strobe here. Alright, so we have our slow strobe, and I'm going to bring it up to its fastest. We're at a medium. Now we're going to go to fast. Alright, so this is the fastest this light fixture is going to strobe here. I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like on the wall. This is their claim of 25 Hertz. So the refresh rate on this is okay. It's not the best one I've seen, but I would say it's more 20 Hertz than 25 Hertz because it's just simply not capable of strobing fast enough. My eye can differentiate the actual pulses, whereas if this was at 25 Hertz or 25 frames per second, the circle here would look almost solid, and it's not. So the ring here also has its own ability to dim as well as strobe. So right now we are at 100% on its red channel. You can dim these down to 0. Let's go ahead and see how smooth the dimmer is on this. So we have green here. This is green at 100%. And we're going to drop it down to 0. So it has a pretty smooth dim here, but there is a slight cutoff at 0. So there's 1, there's 0. So it's on and then off. So the dimmer isn't super smooth on the ring. Let's go ahead and check out the 8-facet prism that's built into the TP BEAM80. So beam light fixtures look great with prisms, and this one only has one prism on it, and that is the 8-facet prism, which I prefer. It just looks cleaner and neater. So we have our 8-facet prism here, and you can of course do prism rotation and control the speed of the rotation. So I'm slowing it down here. And speeding it back up. So at full speed it makes almost a solid ring or circle, so that looks really cool. "13 gobos plus open and an 8-facet prism is included with Tip-Top's TP BEAM80. Let's go ahead and take a look at the various gobos and prism effects on this light. So right now we have our extra large circle or open. We can cut that down to a medium circle or a small circle or an even smaller circle. So we can actually reduce the beam angle by using these extra gobos that they've included. That is our smallest circle that we have right here. The next gobo is what I like to call a dot with some boomerangs around it. It's just a very generic gobo here. Stylized sun. This looks like a clover, but it's a bunch of hearts in a circular arrangement. We have a single star. We have some line patterns that is shaped like a triangle. We have a linear line that is in a vertical position. We have a equal sign or two linear lines in a horizontal position. This looks like a X, a very stylized X for sure. And we have a plus symbol or a cross. And then of course you can do shake on all of these as well. The shake is actually pretty good on this. I mean, it shakes pretty fast. And then you can of course scroll your gobo wheel clockwise and counterclockwise and also control the speed of it. There are 13 colors included on the color wheel plus open. Let's go ahead and look at how saturated the colors are on the color wheel. So right now we have open. This is our 8000K white light. Now we have our half rings on. Now we have our half colors, so we have white and red, or red, solid, red and green, green solid, green and blue, blue solid, blue and open, open again, open and yellow, yellow, yellow and magenta, magenta, magenta and green, green, green and a light blue or turquoise. It's actually trying to look more like turquoise or aqua. We have aqua and tan. So this is a warmer white light. We have tan and light pink solid, light pink and purple. We have purple, light purple and dark purple. We have dark purple. This one's trying to replicate closer to a UV color. So UV and orange, orange, orange and open, open, and then of course we can scroll through these. You can create a rainbow effect, and you can scroll fast to slow, so you can control the speed of the scroll. I'm going to go ahead and slow this down so you can see every color that's available on this color wheel. TipTop has included a bunch of built-in macros for the ring light here, so let's go ahead and check out some of them now. So right now we have a solid color, which is our red. You can do a chase effect. You can also speed this up or slow it down with the speed channel here. So I'm actually speeding up the macro effect. That's the fastest it'll go. And you can also bring it down to the slowest it'll go. Here's another effect. Another one. Another one. Here's a 4 split effect. So there are 4 groups of LEDs here split up that will go around the ring. Here is a single split. So this is 4 groups with 1 LED. Here's a trailing effect. This is our pulsing effect. Here it is in green or blue or white. We have pink. We have aqua or teal. We have a nice yellow. Here is another trailing effect. This one looks like a comet, so I call it the comet effect, where it actually has a tail on it that is slowly being faded out, so it looks like it's chasing itself. Do that in red or blue or green or white, yellow, aqua, pink. Here's a rainbow effect. Here's a rainbow effect. So we have rainbow slow and rainbow medium. We have a solid yellow. That turns into a scrolling pattern. Here's a rainbow chase pattern. This one's kind of cool. I sped up the macro so it actually looks kind of like a strobe. This one's going to cycle with pink, red, and then yellow and teal. That's a cool look. Another rainbow effect. Another chase effect. This one's a marquee effect, so it looks like the old-fashioned marquees. You can do it in a bunch of different colors. So this is a group of 4, so you have 4 by 4 of red, green, blue, and white, and it's a chase effect. We have some fading effects here, or pulsing. It's going to drop it to 0 and then change the color and bring it up to 100%. Here's a solid rainbow color. Here's another rainbow chase. And that is all of the built-in macros that are included. You can of course make your own macros, so there is a lot of different looks and styles with just the ring alone here on the TP BEAM80. The TP BEAM80 comes with onboard safety features like temperature sensor detection, overcurrent, overvoltage, and auto shutdown if the fixture overheats. The fixture shouldn't overheat due to its built-in variable speed fan. Let's go ahead and see how loud it is at full output. So right now I'm about a foot away from the light fixture and the fan is running at full output. So go ahead and take a listen. We are now about 6 feet away from the light fixture. Go ahead and take a listen to the sound. So from 6 feet away, it's noticeably audible, and from 1 foot away, it's also audible. This isn't the quietest fan I've ever heard on a light fixture. With that being said, 10 feet away, you're probably not going to notice it as much. And 15 to 20 feet away, you're not going to hear it at all. But like I said, this isn't one of the quietest variable speed fans I've ever heard on a light fixture. If you enjoyed this review, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If stuff like this interests you, reviews on lighting equipment, DJ or stage lighting, atmospherics, um, controllers, consoles, anything like that. If that interests you, go ahead and subscribe to my channel at Theatrically Jerry. If you have any comments about this light fixture in general, or just any comments or questions, you can go ahead and leave them down below. I do respond to them as quickly as I can. Thank you guys for watching.